Hey, what's up, guys? Before I get into the Bills-Titans recap, I want to start off today with talking about today's fantasy football topic of the day, which is Nick Chubb a every week starter moving forward in fantasy football with him getting back into action last week? So the Browns are playing the Ravens this week, which is not the best matchup for Chubb or any running back for that matter. They have held running backs to under 50 yards rushing the last 4 weeks. On Monday night, they held Bucky Irving to 23 rushing yards, and they held Rachaad White to 40 rushing yards. Although Bucky Irving did score a rushing touchdown, that was the only touchdown that they've allowed from a running back in the last 3 weeks. And that pretty much salvaged Bucky Irving's fantasy football day. Without that touchdown, he would have had a really garbage day for fantasy football owners. They even kept Jaden Daniels from scoring a rushing TD, and he tends to run one in most games. Also, the game script isn't going to be great for Chubb since they are most likely going to be playing from behind. That coupled with him still getting eased back into action. He only had 11 carries last week. I do think they're going to slowly ramp him up each week. But the combination of the game script not being great for him and the fact that they're not going to give him a full workload, I personally am keeping Chubb on my bench this week. Now, most of you probably have somebody else that you can play over Chubb, considering they've been hanging on to him for, weeks before he got into action. So I'm sure that you guys do have other options. Obviously, if you're in a desperate situation and you need him in the flex because you got injuries or anything else going on. But I think most people do have a better option to play. Now, on to the Bills-Titans recap. Amari Cooper looked really good, scoring a touchdown in his debut in the third quarter. And he did exactly what we hoped for. He really just opened up everything for everybody else, especially Keon Coleman, who had his first game over 100 yards with 125. We got a glimpse of how good Keon can be after the catch. Even though he may have not been the fastest, it did seem like he could have scored on this catch right here. You notice that he started cutting to the right instead of just cutting up the middle of the field, but he probably would have scored. So his speed isn't super ideal, but he's still doing good things after the catch, so it's a good positive sign. Either way, it was a great game for Keon, having 4 catches for 125 yards. He also had another touchdown that was called back, so Keon really could have had a monster day. If he had scored a touchdown on that play where he could have cut up in the middle of the field, and if he could have scored that touchdown that didn't get called back, Keon could have had 2 touchdowns and 140 yards on this day. Really good outing for Keon Coleman. Amari Cooper is doing exactly what we thought, giving Keon Coleman the weaker corners that are guarding him, so he no longer has that pressure of the top corner guarding him, which is just too much to ask of a rookie. It's really going to be tough for a rookie to create separation when they have the top corner on him. Now he can get the second or third corner of the group and hopefully be able to make some more plays moving forward. Also, Ray Davis continued to impress even with James Cook back, who managed to rush for a TD and even performed a little better than Cook with 41 yards off of 5 carries compared to Cook, who had 12 carries for 32 yards. So again, like I said last week, it seems like Bills will slowly start to have a timeshare on these two and make this more of a 1-2 punch situation because Ray Davis just keeps showing us how great of a draft pick he was and how versatile he can be in this offense. We did, unfortunately, get hit with some injuries in this game, with Curtis Samuel with a shoulder injury, Terrell Bernard with an ankle injury, and Dorian Williams with a knee injury. And it really sucks because we just got Terrell Bernard back recently, and he's already got another injury, and he was having such a great game with 8 tackles and a fumble recovery before he got knocked out in the third quarter. And then Dorian Williams as well was having a great game before he got knocked down in the fourth quarter with 10 total tackles. So this is just something that we're going to have to monitor this week leading up to our game against the Seahawks, which is on the road in Seattle. They're coming off a big win off the Falcons, who they won on the road. So both teams, the Bills and the Seahawks, are coming off big wins. Seahawks are most likely going to be without Metcalf this Sunday, who was carted off the field last week with an MCL sprain. Hopefully we get some of these guys back. At the very least, Dorian Williams, because his injury did not seem that serious. Terrell Bernard, we're going to have to just go ahead and see how the week progresses with him getting limited sessions into practice. But let's get another dub this Sunday. Let's keep this momentum going. And as always, guys, I'll see you next week. Go Bills.